One of the cool points that really connected Nate and I right away was we were sitting there talking about his original studies, and he said, far red's so important, and there's so many benefits to it, but I saw it start to diminish the quality of leafy greens and even their color when it came to like their finishing or ripening stages. And I said, damn, Nate, that's incredible, because this is something that we just figured out practically with our B series, because we put the UV and we put the 437s originally on a different channel, right? And it was only as an ode to like our OG growers and all the guys that used to say, hey man, when we used to finish under these CMH lamps, we would use HPS for the 8 weeks and finish under a heavy CMH. We would get some of the most aromatic, sticky weed that I've never seen since then. How come the weed isn't like it was back in the day? And I'm like, So it started really questioning, well, what was the reason behind that? It was a lot of the low to mid wavelengths, and so it was something that we saw practically, and we started making adjustments, and this is where we kind of started collaborating. I was like, wow, I'm already seeing this in cannabis.
Yeah, you got to look at it and say, what's changed, And that was the same thing in a lot of the vegetable world, where people were going, once we got rid of HPS, why were we having different types of growth? And you have to start looking exactly what changed in that quantum spectrum, right? The recipe that we're delivering. And everyone is asking out there, what is the perfect recipe? What do you supply your plant? And I always give them the worst answer that they don't want, and it depends. And no one wants to hear it depends. But it's so true, because you can't make blanket statements with plants. We know over 400,000 species of plants out there, and they're all different. They've, had this series of evolution in which they grow in these different niche places. So the other thing we're finding out as well is there isn't one spectrum that is going to work through the entire life cycle if you want to absolutely optimize everything that you can out of that plant. And that's what we're working on in leafy greens. We're looking at in flowering crops such as tomatoes, but also now cannabis.